Geoff, I've had Democrats tell me that at certain rallies they perceive a little bit of a bias. It seems that sheriff deputies will tolerate extreme behavior from conservatives, Tea Party folks, while the Democrats don't get equal treatment. Maybe it's even more heavy-handed. So how will you promote a culture within the ranks that makes those deputies treat everyone equally, regardless of their personal views of the deputies or the demonstrators?
That's interesting. Well, I'm the sheriff to everybody, and I think one of the reasons that people on both sides of the party are supporting me, and groups like this are allowing me to come speak, is they realize that I don't think partisan politics has any role in law enforcement. It's probably also, excuse me, probably, it's going through the life change. It's probably also important that the chief executive maybe stay away from some of those events. And you know, if you have a big Republican event, and I'm just kind of thinking about this, maybe the sheriff shouldn't be inside. He just should stay away, so the deputies don't think that, well, if my boss is inside, I should take one side or the other. But I find it totally inappropriate if anybody is getting desperate treatment.
Okay. Well, today's paper mentioned that there's going to be a ballot initiative to legalize marijuana on the November ballot. So what is your position on legalizing marijuana?
I'm actually opposed to legalized marijuana. I think I think there might be a role for medicinal marijuana. I'm not a doctor. I can't say that. Every place where they've legalized marijuana, it has truly been unsuccessful. Places like Amsterdam, probably one of the most relaxed and liberal places in the world. When it was illegal, they had one drug cartel there. 2 years later, after they legalized it, they had 7 drug cartels there. And what cartels from around the country realized was the legalization of marijuana could be a front for them to come in, and it's cheap for them to buy the licenses. So I'm opposed to it. I do believe it can be a stepping stone to other drugs, and I don't really think that we're ready for it.
Okay. Geoff, can you speak a little bit about the retirement benefits for law enforcement? Will you be willing to help with serious budget shortfalls by adjusting pensions?
Yeah, the pension conflict is certainly out there, and it's something that the unions and the Board of Supervisors and the CEO are going to have to deal with. The county stood strong, and I tip my hat to the board. Steve Bennett and Kathy Long, people like that, were leaders when several of the unions several years ago wanted enhanced safety benefits, and they told them no. And it was the right decision. It would have been bad public policy. The county would be close to bankrupt if they had done that. They've just recently imposed a 3% additional contribution from employees into the system. But there's going to have to be some sort of compromise. I don't like painting a broad brush of all the employees. I don't blame employees for asking for enhanced benefits. I mean, who wouldn't want it? Who doesn't want enhanced benefits? Who doesn't want higher salary? But at some point we're going to have to say no. But we need to work together with our workers, with our associations, with our unions, and with our leadership. And we need to be willing to support our leadership to stand up and say, hey, we're not going to do this right now.
Okay. Geoff, this question is about drug offenders. Do you believe that we need a more effective treatment program as an alternative to Prop 36, which really only has about a 5% success rate, I believe is what the question asks, and as an alternative to incarcerating nonviolent drug offenders and preventing future offenders? So perhaps broaden that a little bit to your views on Prop 36 and what to do with nonviolent drug offenders.
I'm kind of in conflict with my opponent on Prop 36. He thinks that the total thing was a dismal failure. I think the concept of Prop 36 was good. The concept of taking first and second time offenders and providing treatment for them was a good concept. The problem with Prop 36, it was poorly funded, and there weren't enough successful programs out there to send people to. So what you'd have an addict get arrested 8, 9, 10 times and continue to test dirty over and over again, and nothing would happen to them. I think we need the carrot and stick approach that, yes, we're going to offer you a treatment program, but if you continue to reoffend, you're going to be incarcerated. When I was a young deputy, if you arrested somebody for being under the influence of heroin, they got 90 days in jail. Now that's a long time. But the good side about that is they cleaned up and they got treatment programs for 90 days. And it kept a lot of hardcore heroin addicts alive. So I believe in the concept of helping addicts But we have to fund it properly, and we have to find successful programs that are out there, because there's a lot of programs, but a very small percentage, 5, maybe even less than that, 5%, are really successful.
Okay, I believe this will be our last question, Jeff. Republicans have promoted themselves as tough on crime. Will you moderate the rhetoric a bit so this subject has a little bit more reasoned discourse? They're all good questions. Those are all good
No,
questions.
they are good. That's the first time this one's come up in forums. It's really good. You know, I don't think Republicans are any tougher on crime than Democrats are. I think they have a little bit different philosophy about how we're going to treat those people. Maybe there's somebody in the room that think burglary is okay or robbery is okay, but I'd be surprised if there was. But sometimes I think I've made it clear. I believe in aggressive enforcement of serious offenders, really of enforcement of all offenders, but alternatives once we get those offenders in custody, and how we're going to deal with them and how we're going to treat them and how they're going to reassimilate back into the community.
All right, Jeff, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we close?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to you. Some of you I've known because I've got to meet over the past 9 months coming to a lot of your events, and I really appreciate it. I don't know what you guys do for a living, but I love my job, and for 32 years I love my job, and I love going to work every day. And I'm looking forward to being the sheriff of the county, and I promise you I'll be a sheriff for all people, no matter what party you are, no matter what color you are, no matter who you are or what you believe in. And I appreciate your support and ask for your vote. And if you want to put a bumper sticker on your car, that'd be fine too. Thank you very much.